This wagon has lived its entire life outside on an island. It's never been cleaned, it has mold growing on the outside and a beach worth of sand on the inside, and I think an entire colony of mice that now call it home. And today, I'm gonna attempt to get it looking and driving brand new for a very good reason. Uh-oh. That was bad. This car belonged to my grandfather, who sadly passed away 14 years ago. And since then, it's been abandoned on the island it was purchased until the other week when I rescued it and brought it home. But now, it needs a lot of help. We're gonna start off simple because honestly, this thing has never been washed and I wanna see what a pressure washer will do. So I'm gonna start with a normal wash, see what we can get off, and then we'll probably need to step it up into something a lot more serious because this thing needs help. Because this wagon sat outside for 30 years, every square inch is covered in grime and dirt. I'm starting by washing the wheels and tires. I first just need to spray them down with the pressure washer and then spray them down with some wheel cleaner, let it sit, give it a scrub, and wash it off again. I'm also scrubbing the tires because they are disgusting. With those out of the way, I can start spraying down the actual paint. When you clean a car, you want to start from the top down, so that's exactly what I'm doing by starting with the roof. This thing is horrible though, and with each spray, I'm dislodging years of stuck-on sap, mold, and dirt. That's super satisfying. It's like reverse painting. Every time I spray it, it just becomes more red. And I'm using this like really fine spray pressure washer thing. It's concentrating the water more to be more powerful. And I'm gonna try to spray out this little canal here because I sprayed it on the other side and it was disgusting. So let's see what comes out of it. I'm literally having to make 5 passes on this roof just to get it even partially clean. It feels like each time I'm spraying it, more dirt appears, but slowly it's starting to look okay. With the roof out of the way, I can start on the rest of the car, and it's super satisfying. Look at this. Even with just a pressure wash, you can start to see that it actually cleans up kind of okay. There is a ton of scratches though. And I still have yet to do the most annoying part of this first step, which is the hood. Look how bad the hood is. Since it's a big flat surface, it kind of collects everything. But this is really bad. And the amount of pine tree needles that are on here, that is gonna be annoying. I might grab some gloves, try to pick as much of these out as I can, and then spray it. I thought about just spraying it, but it'd probably go everywhere. That was my lazy thought, but maybe I should do it the right way. I did 50% of the hood just to show you what it looks like just from pressure washing. It's crazy. Already, there's a lot of work to do on this paint. It feels horrible and it could look so much better, but that's disgusting comparatively. You can see the hard line of dirt that's just stuck on there. All right, spraying it with water is complete. And it does look a whole lot better just with that, but there's still so much on the car that's disgusting. A lot of that stuff sort of stayed on here and there, like this spot right here. Can't seem to get that off at all. See that? There we go. Can't seem to get that off. Some more stuff over here that's just stuck on. Mirrors, still got some stuff. It's still rough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit it with a foam cannon and then give it a really good scrub and see how much that takes off. The outside of the car is mostly done, and now we need to get working on the inside, which I've kind of been afraid to do. And that's because I think there's some mice living in the car somewhere. And the entire car is full of sand, full of stains, and I think the entire AC system is full of mice stuff that is probably not good to breathe in. Look at this. I turned the air on for a second earlier, and you can see like buildup of things behind the vents, which has got me kind of worried. Now I just looked up where the cabin air filter is. Most cars will have a little filter, and as air is sucked in for your AC and your heat, it actually goes through that filter and, you know, takes all the big particles out to keep it clean. But apparently these Chevys of this era have no cabin air filter, which is probably why there's so much stuff back there. It's kind of gross. So what I'm gonna do is try to figure out where the air comes from, clean that out as best as I can, and then I'm just gonna run the AC and run away. And hopefully everything will blow out into the car, and then I can just vacuum everything, and hopefully that will blow all the debris out. But I'm honestly not sure, and it's kind of disgusting. Probably a biohazard. This entire car is a biohazard. Look at the floors. I don't know how I'm gonna fix that, but I think I can figure it out and try to get it looking new again. But I don't know what that stain is from and how long it's been there. I'm like, this tape mark, that's probably never coming off. It's time to turn the AC on and see what blows out of here. I do not want to be in here when this does this. Full blast. Oh, jeez. Oh, that's disgusting. Can you see it all blowing out? Oh my gosh. That's gross. That blew stuff literally everywhere, and there is so much buildup behind all the vents. That is so disgusting. After the vents were on for just a second, it blew all the debris either out or right against the vent cover. So I'm able to vacuum it out of each vent, and I'm hoping I got all of it. Now that we have the vents in better shape, there's a couple steps I need to do in the correct order. First, I'm gonna get all the trash out of here, which is sometimes fun because you can find interesting stuff. This is a thing from 2006 that I just picked up. There's also a bunch of tissues in here that have dust on them. That is also disgusting. Yeah, we gotta get all the junk out of here first before we vacuum, just because it's gonna make it way easier. Oh, nice. Glue, pen, a screw, all the necessities. This is back when you actually needed paper maps in order to go anywhere. And there's a lot of them that have been left in here. Check that out. That's actually really cool. I might need to get that framed. This is just liquid now. I can hear it. That's crazy. Ooh, a better condition map of the island. Maybe I'll keep that one. This is the boat schedule to get over on the ferry from 2005. Look at this old Chevy accessories book. Yo, you could get the phone in this thing? Why don't we have that? I just found the touch-up paint for this car in the glove box. I'm so tempted to use this somewhere. I feel like there is no way this is still usable. Oh, it's rock hard actually now. I might have just had the greatest find. It is the official soundtrack for the Caprice Classic, which is the introduction to your vehicle on one side, and on the other side, the selected options and features. I think we should see if this works. If this works, I'm gonna be amazed. I don't know how this technology works. This is before my time, but I do know where I'm supposed to put it in the car. Look how sick the packaging is. It did break a little when I just dropped it. I'm gonna try putting this in and see what we get. That looks right. That's how you do it. I can hear it. Oh! Oh! This is lit!
Congratulations on your purchase of a new Chevrolet. Your 1994
Will!
Caprice Classic can...
Bro, this is hard!
Since 1946, over 38 million full-size Chevrolets have been sold. Whether you're a first-time Caprice Classic owner or a repeat buyer, you'll find the full-frame rear-wheel drive, another well...
I think we should see if the other side has another tune on it. My God!
Bro, they had a band make this.
This is just the tunes side.
Whoa! What kind of music would you call
I literally listened to that entire tape, which I won't bore you with. So instead, let's move on to the next step in the interior, which is wiping down all the surfaces. This is just to get as much dust off as possible before I vacuum. I don't think anyone has ever done this in the entire life of the car. So there is a solid layer of dust on every single surface, but especially the dash, which I'm having to go over several times. This step honestly sucks. But the next step, which is vacuuming, is actually kind of fun because of how bad the carpets are. So we're mostly cleaned on the inside, but this car has something special that I haven't seen in a long time since I was literally a little kid. And that is, it has rear-facing back seats that fold up from here. And I'm curious what secrets we might find underneath there. There has definitely been mice in this car because I've found so much mice poop. So let's see. I'm a little scared. Oh, geez. There's some stuff. This blanket's disgusting. Okay, the newspaper's from 2013, so not super long ago. Just 12 years. There is a lot of mouse poop down here. What a vibe. I have not sat in these rear seats since I was like a little kid, and they're honestly just as comfortable as I remember them being. Why are these the only like leather seat in the car and the rest are fabric? That I don't know, but they clean up pretty well. I've mixed up a concoction of carpet soap and water, which I'm gonna pre-treat these stains with. I'm gonna test on this one, and then I'll use the extractor vacuum and hopefully make it better. Let's see how that goes. Now I'm gonna let it sit 10-ish minutes, and then I'll try to extractor vacuum it out. This is
disgusting. It's really like, it looks like chocolate milk that it's picking up out of the carpets. The front though is looking okay. It still has to dry. It's still kind of gross, but it's definitely better than it was before. And we'll see how it looks once it's dry. But we got this really bad stain back here. Look at this one. I don't know if that's gonna come out, but I pre-treated it. Now I'm gonna hit it with the vacuum and we'll see what happens.
The interior actually cleans up pretty good, and after letting it all dry, we can move on to some of the worst parts of the car. The interior's all nice and clean now.
Well, as clean as it could be. And we need to do the final step because it smells weird in here. So I'm gonna throw in something special.
Step one is take this mount and put it on the sun visor like so. And next is a Luft air freshener. This is our own air freshener brand. We hated all the dangly air fresheners from the rearview mirror, so we decided to make our own. Dang! That's nice packaging. And inside said packaging is this wooden block infused with essential oils, and it smells oh so good. This is our blended berry scent, which is quite lovely, but we have other scents on the website. You can go check it out at the link in the description. Look, it just magnetizes up there. Looks nice, and it already smells a lot better in here, actually.
So if you have a stinky car, or you just have people coming in and out of your car and you want them to be impressed, you should go check out Luft Scents. Every purchase helps support the channel, and they're a lot better than every other air freshener. I'm probably pretty biased on saying that, but you should go check them out. Please, help.
The engine bay on this car is truly terrible, and I feel like I wouldn't be doing it justice without cleaning the engine bay a bit. So I'm gonna try to spray it down without ruining anything. I think this engine can take water totally fine up here, as long as I just don't spray the alternator too much or the battery terminals that much. I think it'll be fine. But this thing is disgusting. So it could really use like a proper wash. Along with the engine bay, the door jambs on the car was something that I totally forgot to get, so I'm spraying those down as well to try to get all the remaining dirt off. With that all done, I'm actually giving the exterior another wash, since there's still a ton of stuck on grime that doesn't seem to go anywhere. But after I've rinsed it, given it another spray with the foam cannon, and another scrub, look how good it turned out. I cannot believe how good this thing turned out. I have poured days into cleaning this car, and it's not perfect, but I love it. Some people might get mad that I didn't polish all the paint, but I kind of want to keep the patina. Now that it's not all moldy and not disgusting, it's sort of got a good vibe to it. The scratches are stories, man. I like this thing the way it is, and I don't want to make it too perfect. But now that it's clean, I think it's time to do some stuff to it. And by stuff, I mean much needed maintenance. This thing hasn't seen a mechanic probably ever, and it's just lucky that it hasn't blown up yet. The car does in fact run, but I'm standing 20 feet away from it because it runs really bad and it's super loud. There's a weird metallic noise and it just idles so odd. Listen. It's not running too good. It's a lot cleaner than it was because we cleaned it up pretty good. But now I need to pull it in and see if we can fix this idle and get this thing actually working, because it does feel like something's gonna break pretty soon with the way it's sounding. He's a beaut though. Look at that digital dash from 1995. I like when you rev it too that the speed goes up. I can guarantee you we weren't going 9 miles an hour then. Before I start figuring out the idle and turning this car on and off a bunch, I'm gonna do the oil, because I imagine the oil hasn't been changed in a long time. And with all the starting and stopping, I just don't want to risk damaging the engine at all. I did drive home on this oil, and it looked okay when I pulled the dipstick out, but I don't know when the last time this was replaced, so it's time to take it out. An oil delete, some might say. Ready? Oh, brilliant move. Yup. That was a perfection work right there. It doesn't look shiny. That's always a good sign. We should be good. It's a lot of oil coming out, so that's a great sign. We'll let that drain, and then we'll move on to this oil filter here. That's so smolderingly hot. So hot. So hot. Ow. So hot. That filter is 1 billion degrees. Pro tip, don't leave your car idling before your oil change for that long, unless you want to burn your fingertips off. This thing doesn't take a whole lot of oil. It's a big V8 and it takes 5 quarts of oil. Kind of odd to me. I'm definitely gonna double check.
all that.
It turns out it does indeed only take 5 quarts, which is not very much, but as long as it works, I truly don't care. With the new oil done, the next step is to do the spark plugs. They're the easiest thing to reach next. So I'm just gonna do it based on difficulty at this point because there's some stuff that I'm dreading doing. So I'm just gonna procrastinate doing that and start with the easiest stuff. So the spark plugs on this, with it being American, are actually not too difficult to get to. Spark plug wire first, then they're not great, but they're not the worst thing ever. They could definitely use replacing. So you can see it's pretty messed up, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. So I think this will help us a little bit with our idling problem. And it's probably just better for the life of the car. So we'll put the new ones in. There's 8 of them, V8, and then we'll move on to the things that I'm putting off. It turns out doing these spark plugs isn't as easy as I would have thought. Because of the way the headers for the exhaust are, I have to reach into some pretty small places. But eventually, I'm able to finish the first side, which I thought stupidly would be the easier side to do. I really thought the other side was going to be easier than this side, but you can see, this is pretty open. This is not so open. I should have looked at that first. Well, it didn't matter because I'm going to have to do it anyway, but I don't want to do that. That's going to suck. I don't even know how I get to everything. It turns out I get to everything by contorting my entire arm and hand into ways that feel horrible. This is really not a fun process, but it's for sure a necessary one. So I'm glad I'm getting it done. And if I do it right, hopefully I won't ever have to touch these again for at least a very long time. Spark plugs are in. I'm a little stressed because I don't know if I got the wires to actually plug into them correctly. But we'll see, and hopefully it runs a little bit better and not any worse. I think that helps a little bit. Still has that metallic-y sound, but it definitely sounds a bit smoother overall. It doesn't seem to be shuddering at all. I'm just quickly replacing the wipers. These wipers are terrible. Pretty sure these are the original ones from 1995 because they're just like rotting apart. The rubber is like literally stiff and disgusting. So I'm gonna just quickly swap them out. I got some new ones. They were like literally 20 bucks. Easy modification. Really, I'm doing these just to procrastinate working on the engine more, but it is a helpful thing to do. And with it done, we can get back into trying to fix the idle. Now we need to fix something that I'm really not excited to fix, and that is the distributor. Now, it's the next potential thing that's making the car run poorly. And usually that would be really straightforward. The distributor usually sits on top of the engine or somewhere easy to access. But on these cars, they are somewhere very stupid. This is what the distributor looks like. And like I said, instead of sitting kind of on top of the engine, it sits down behind the water pump, which would leak onto these things. And that's why these are known to fail. The water pump slowly seeps over time, gets water on this component that is electric, and then the car misfires and runs poorly. There's another fun thing with these, and that is that all the aftermarket ones, and probably including the one I bought, even though I kind of balled out on this one, they all suck apparently and have problems. I don't know what the deal is with it, but the original unit, which was made by AC Delco, is apparently the best one, and they're really hard to come by. This is just what I'm learning from weird old forums. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to access it first, which is gonna be difficult because like I said, it's buried underneath there. And then once we get it out, if we get it out, we're gonna look at it, take it apart, see if there's any water seeping in. I would rather keep the stock unit if I can and just return this one. But if we have to replace stuff, we can maybe take parts from this one and put them on the better unit. I don't know. It's gonna be tricky and annoying, but this is how you learn to do things. This is how I always learn, is just by trying. We have to take a lot of stuff out of the engine bay though first. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I think if I just keep taking things off, I'll get to what I need to get to. The water pump is right here, and the OptiSpark is behind it. So the distributor is actually behind this water pump, like I said. So we're actually gonna have to take the water pump out. And when you heard this car idling, it kind of whines a little bit. I think that might be the water pump, so I'm gonna replace that. Wow, we already have it out. I got a new one. And I'm gonna replace the belts just to see if that helps. Couldn't hurt. Probably better to have a new one. But to get to this, it's looking like I'll have to take this off, a couple other things. Probably lose all the coolant in the world, but that's fine. That was to be expected. Luckily for me, everything is pretty easy to get off. Just a few bolts, vacuum away all the dirt from likely an old animal nest, and pretty soon we're at the water pump. This part sucks a bit, because the only way to get the water pump out is to disconnect all the hoses, which inevitably spills fluid everywhere. So I'm just trying to make sure that fluid doesn't spill onto anything too important. Now we should be good though. Finally. I think. Oh yeah. Yes! I'm trying to scrape the old gaskets off before I put the new water pump in because I have new gaskets and obviously you want a flat surface, but it's been on there so long that it's like fused. I think it was probably a paper gasket or something, but it is like a completely fused to the metal on the other side. And it comes off with metal as I go at it. And I don't want to mar the surface because again, that will create a bad mating surface for the water pump to go against, and it'll probably leak and it'll get on the OptiSpark and then we'll be screwed. This is a really tedious process of just slowly scraping off the old gasket material, but I think I've got enough where it shouldn't leak. This came off of the little shaft in there, the thing that goes to the water pump, the back of the water pump, and it's pretty grimy. I have an ultrasonic cleaner, so I'm gonna clean this up and I'll show you that. It's pretty cool. I don't have the right stuff to put in it, but it'll at least help a little. Put the top on. That is gonna make a heinous sound. That's how you know it's working. That sound is truly terrible. I'm doing this in hopes it'll bring down the sound at idle. Since this sits in between two gears, I feel like all that built up grime probably isn't helping. So what this ultrasonic cleaner does is use high frequency sound waves that create tiny bubbles that repeatedly implode, generating small but powerful blasts that are actually enough to scrub away the stuck-on rust and dirt. These are surprisingly effective and actually pretty inexpensive. Look at this. It's pretty much 50% better than it was. It's not perfect because we don't have the right stuff to put in the ultrasonic cleaner, but it's not bad. When I put this back on, I'll also throw some grease in it. Should be good. Now that I'm in here, I'm just taking the original plug wires out one at a time, figuring out which one matches, and then replacing it. So you gotta make sure they're the same length. This process is super straightforward, but even with most of the engine bay disassembled, it's still pretty tricky to reach the plug wires. And this side is again the easy side. The harder side turned into a two-person job where I fish the plug wire up from below the car to Will, who then routes it to the proper place. These plug wires are what actually send signal from the distributor to the spark plug, allowing for ignition. And with those routed up, we can put a few things back together just enough to see how it runs.
It's running great, bro. It's running smoother than before. And the water pump was that noise. Kill it, kill it, kill it.
Great news. As you saw, it runs somehow a lot smoother and I haven't messed anything up. That means the OptiSpark is good, which means I don't need to touch it. So instead, I am gonna put everything back together again and put the new water pump in and see if it runs well and doesn't leak with the new water pump. Hopefully that is also something that goes well. I have no idea. Putting everything back together is way easier now that I know how it all comes apart, but it is a slow process. Once I have it back together though, we can refill this thing with coolant and check it for leaks before we move on to a few other things needing attention. I still can't believe this thing is all put back together, but now we have to kind of see if that new water pump leaks anywhere. So I've got some stuff to fill it. Now, this I thought took orange coolant, but it instead takes green coolant. And if you don't know, you can't mix coolants. They can gel if they're the wrong mix, and then you're screwed. So this one actually takes green, and I could only find the right green in full concentrate, which means I need to mix it with water. But of course, you can't use regular water. It's used distilled water, because if you use regular water, it has minerals, they build up, and they also screw you. So I got to do this the proper way. So I'm just going to fill this up with a mix of both, and then we'll try to run it and see if it leaks. Only one way to find out. How am I going to do this with one hand? Watch this. Expert. What did I say? That is the craziest green color ever. Water. That I don't mind spilling everywhere. Battery's mega dead, so we're double jump packing. It's the only way to get one of them to read that the battery has enough charge in order to jump it. It's very convoluted and very stupid. We needed to borrow the big jumper. It makes a scary sound. Listen to this. That's scary. Lots of current, but it should hopefully work. We got to get this thing running so I can get the fluid through and fill it the rest of the way. Well, it seems to be happy. It's actually running really smooth right now. I just got to make sure it's not going to overheat. Uh-oh. That was bad. Something caught on fire. Yeah, I don't know what. Well, that's not good. I think I lit my spark plug wire on fire. It might have been touching the header. Oh no. Well, I've officially burned myself a bit on my hand, and I'm gonna have to wait for this to cool down to see what happened. It did not go to plan. Well, it's the next morning. I had to wait for this thing to cool down, and that's what lit on fire. Dang it, that sucks. Gonna have to fix that now and get a new wire and try to route it down and under. I already have all this stuff in. That is annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Oh. Crap. Welcome to Underneath the Wagon. Now, underneath here, we have a slight dilemma.
And that is, I'm trying to drain the transmission fluid. This thing probably has never had the transmission fluid changed, and it would make it shift, probably, I hope, a whole lot better. Now, most transmissions have a drain plug, so when you open it, the fluid can drain out. This one, it doesn't. Don't ask me why. I have no idea, but that means that there's a high likelihood I'm gonna get covered in transmission fluid, which I really don't want. But I'm gonna take this pan off very gently and let the transmission fluid drain, hopefully in a controlled manner, because all I have to catch it is this thing. I see bad things in my future. If there's a better way, put it in the comments and I'll read it later and regret that I did this entirely. Relatively controlled, guys. We're chilling. I'm an expert. I am goated. Now I should take the filter off. Honestly, the transmission fluid doesn't look bad. We're gonna replace the gasket. This thing just peels right up. Old gasket. Don't need that anymore. Like so.
With that gasket on, I can put a new filter in, bolt the pan back up, and go back up top to properly fill it with some fresh transmission fluid.
We can finally get this fixed, I hope. I have some new plug wires. I'm gonna disassemble this and try to fish out the wire without having to take too much out, but it is very deep in there, so we'll have to see. Just with these two things off, I can vaguely get to the plug wires. You can see they're tucked right down in there, so I think I have enough out. Luckily, it's on this side and not on that side. That side is terrible, and I hope that I don't have to fix that. Old plug wire out, new plug wire in. Now I just need to route it so that it doesn't burn on the headers again. Gotta figure that one out. There's a little channel that I think I routed it through, so when you look down there, you don't see the wire, which means it's not touching the header. You see that channel that they're running through right to the side? That is now, hopefully, meaning that it won't light on fire. Everything is buttoned back up, so now we just need to see if it runs, and I'm really, really hoping it does, and then doesn't catch on fire, ideally. So, please. I think I routed that right. Oh, it sounds all right. Yes! 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 Let's go. Oh, bro, this thing feels mint. Oh my gosh, this is the best this car has ever felt. You probably can't tell on camera, but this thing feels so smooth and way more responsive. Like the throttle response is 100 times better. I think this was all a resounding success. The Wagon is not only looking better than ever, it's running better than ever. Everything seems to be working, even though I lit the car on fire. And honestly, I'm super excited because that means we can start modifying it. So if you have ideas for what modifications we should do, drop them in the comments below. If you want to see me surprise my mom and grandmother with this car, also like this video. And if you want to see more, watch one of these two videos. Subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.